Happening now, the outrage over reports that indicate a federal vaccination site locally was denied by state leaders. Plus, hear the continued push to roll back Governor Cuomo's emergency powers.
Well, the clouds are still around out there for today. We've got some more snow showers, but warmer air is on the way. We'll talk about it next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Officials in Chautauqua County are calling on New York State to stop playing politics after they denied the county a federal COVID-19 vaccination site. As first reported by NBC News and confirmed to WNY News Now by Chautauqua County Executive PJ Wendell, state officials pushed back against the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who wanted to establish a federally supported vaccination site here locally. The report cites a Biden administration official speaking under the condition of anonymity that the state wanted a federally supported site in either Buffalo, Rochester, Albany, and/or Yonkers, and not in the rural area. The more urban locations are not only heavily populated, but also make up a greater minority population and are more politically crucial to Democrats than Chautauqua County, the report says. The Biden administration has been looking to establish 4 small vaccination centers around New York State, with counties ranked part of a social vulnerability index, a scale which Chautauqua County Executive PJ Wendell is familiar with.
Those are metrics that are used, again, obviously by the federal government, that unfortunately in many cases we rank high in. If you read into the article for reasons, that they have put together as to why we were denied, it's disappointing. Again, this shouldn't be a matter of political or anything. It should be if we rank, then get the vaccine here.
Wendell says the county is ready for max vaccination sites with a plan to use both SUNY JCC and SUNY Fredonia as distribution points. Around a month ago, they held a mass vaccination site at SUNY JCC here in Jamestown with hundreds of residents getting vaccinated. Well, speaking of, the Chautauqua County Health Department reported over 1,000 additional COVID-19 vaccinations this morning. That part of an update to the county's COVID-19 dashboard, where health officials say around 12,000 residents have been now vaccinated with the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and 7,800 of them getting the second shot. That makes up 9% and 6% of the total population, respectively. Health officials also reported 14 new cases of the virus, with 124 now active. The number of recoveries continued to outpace new cases, with 247 additional tallied. There are now 10 people hospitalized, that down from 13. Well, the push to reel in New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's emergency powers continues. However, some lawmakers are at odds over how to move forward with that process. Republicans in both chambers of the state assembly and Senate are introducing a hostile amendment to rescind the governor's emergency powers. The effort is to get the amendment to a vote, something Assemblyman Andy Goodell, who represents Chautauqua County, is pushing for.
I am joining in asking my Democrat colleagues to put the interests of the people first. Don't put politics first, put the interests of people first. Put your constituents first. Step up to the plate, exercise your legislative responsibilities, and let's move forward with a democratically formed government with checks and balances, focusing on the future of New York State.
So far, only 20 senators have voted to allow an amendment calling for an immediate vote on that bill. Well, snow and record low temperatures have stalled shipments and deliveries of the COVID vaccine across the U.S., creating delays for those who are aiming to get their second dose. Others scheduled to get their first shot may have also had their appointment canceled as well. Mandy Gaither has more on what you need to know about these vaccine delays.
When it comes to COVID-19 vaccines, it's a waiting game. We know many Americans are awaiting their second dose, and many more their first dose.
Both vaccines on the U.S. market require 2 doses, intended to be given 21 days apart for Pfizer and 28 days apart for Moderna. But if your appointment for a second vaccine dose was canceled because of weather delays or power outages, the CDC says you should still have time to get fully vaccinated, and that second dose can be administered up to 6 weeks after the first shot.
We're asking vaccine administration sites to extend their hours even further and offer additional appointments, and to try to reschedule their vaccinations over the coming days and weeks as significantly more supply arrives.
2 letters to major medical journals provided fuel for the argument that with coronavirus vaccine scarcity, people can skip their second doses, immediately doubling the supply for others. But top U.S. health officials say it's too risky.
The reason is, even though you can get a fair degree of, quote, protection after a single dose, it clearly is not durable.
Last week, vaccination numbers were impacted because of the weather. As everything begins to get back on track, White House officials are asking states, vaccination sites, and those giving vaccinations to help the country catch up.
If we all work together, from the factory all the way to the vaccinators, we will make up for it in the coming weeks.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. The White House announced over the next 2 weeks, 5 new COVID-19 vaccination centers will be opening up in Florida and Pennsylvania. Those sites were chosen for their ability to help target vaccinations to those who are most vulnerable. Well, the City of Jamestown's council approved an agreement with both the Jamestown Firefighters Union for 2016 and 17 during its voting session last night. Mayor Eddie Sundquist informed the council of the agreement with the union, which approved the contract over the weekend. The new contract includes retroactive 2% raises for firefighters for both of those years, as well as an increased contribution to the city's health insurance plan by union members, retroactive to 2018. The mayor says the negotiations required a tremendous effort from both sides.
It is not easy trying to negotiate at this point almost 6 years of potential wages, and we've been working diligently, both our management staff, through the comptroller's office, through our corporation counsel, and with our fire management through the deputy fire chief, to try to resolve as many years as possible from the union contract.
The council voted 8-0 in favor of the agreement, with Councilwoman at Large Kim Eklund recusing herself from the vote due to her husband being a retired member of Local 137. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of some headlines from around the area. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. Great to see Kirk. Good to see Linda, Tammy, Pat, Holly, Lisa, Colleen, and Melissa as well. Good afternoon to Joe and Lori. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Well, now let's get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by live in studio with that. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Justin, and happy Tuesday, everybody. This is the last week, I believe, correct, Justin? The last week of February.
Yes, sir.
And so, man, I mean, only 28 days this month, but live look over Salamanca. We've actually had a few light snow showers moving through the area this morning. 35 degrees right now in Salamanca, and there's the snow for you. The majority of the widespread snow is actually now in Cattaraugus County. It's kind of moving to the northeast, but there is going to be some more scattered snow showers through the afternoon today. So, yeah, it's going to be another one of those snowy days, and there's going to be a little bit more accumulation through the afternoon. We topped out at 33 yesterday. We started the day at 26, 70, and 9 below zero are the record highs and lows set at the airport on this day. So through the afternoon, a good amount of cloud snow showers will basically continue through the afternoon. We'll pick up an additional 1 to 3 inches. Focus on the 1 inch, not the 3 inch. The highest hills will likely pick up the 3 inch. Some rain showers may mix in, and it's still going to be windy, 33 to 39. But look at this healthy southwest wind eventually shifting west, 15 to 30 miles an hour with some gusts near 40 miles an hour. So some limited blowing snow could be possible. But I think you're going to like tomorrow in the temperature department, and then we really start to warm up as we head into the weekend. I'll tell you about it in full detail with that 42 degrees and sunny 7-day forecast later in the show. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. Well, new guidelines for nursing home visitation in New York State was announced by health officials yesterday. Dr. Howard Zucker, the state's Commissioner of Health, says if a county's COVID-19 rate is under 5%, testing for nursing home visitors is encouraged but not required. If the county's rate is within 5 to 10%, visitors don't need to be tested if they've had both COVID-19 vaccine doses at least 2 weeks ago.
However, we encourage it to test anyway at the site. And the reason I say that is because you can still have it in your nasal passage, and so it's beneficial to be tested to be sure that you don't have it in your nasal passage. I reiterate always the need to take all those necessary public health precautions, wearing a mask, washing your hands, etc.
Nursing homes must also have a separate room for visitation, or the resident could be in their own room. The new rules will go into effect this Friday. Well, one of Chautauqua County's largest nursing homes is getting substantial funding to help in their continued fight against COVID-19. Heritage Ministries is slated to receive a $375,000 loan from the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency. Lisa Haglin, the company's president and CEO, says the money will provide additional operating capital to fund COVID-19 related expenses, which have placed a large financial burden on their operation. The funding is made possible through a $10 million pandemic relief program established by New York State. Next, here a lot to tell you about. More on this week's big drug bust in Jamestown. And later, we get a preview of an upcoming high school musical that's finally being able to get underway a year after having their opening night called off due to COVID-19. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues on this Tuesday afternoon.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Honest John says what you're looking for. When you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today, online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm, and real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. The Jamestown Metro Drug Task Force recovered hundreds of bags of fentanyl, more than 30 ounces of cocaine, and over $2,000 in cash during a drug raid this week. The Jamestown Police Department says their SWAT team executed a search warrant at a Hammond Street address in Jamestown early Sunday morning. Police say several men and women were detained during that search. In total, investigators seized more than $2,200 in cash, 31 ounces of cocaine, and 183 bags of fentanyl. There was also a separate bag of 5.5 grams of fentanyl that had not been separated yet. The drugs, police say, were slated for sale. Along with the illicit drugs, investigators also found a pistol that was previously reported stolen from a burglary at a gun shop in Pennsylvania. Officers say there were no charges filed at the moment as their investigation rolls along. Well, a grim milestone surpassed, 500,000 Americans dying from COVID-19. As Melissa Rainey reports, President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and their supporters led the nation in a moment of silence last night to honor those lives.
"500 candles light the night," honoring the more than 500,000 lives lost to COVID-19 in the U.S.
We often hear people described as ordinary Americans. There's no such thing. There's nothing ordinary about them. The people we lost were extraordinary.
The losses felt deeply across the country.
So raw, sometimes I'm grieving for my husband and then I realize my mom's gone.
She cared about lives. She didn't deserve to go through what she went through.
In the face of overwhelming grief, there are glimmers of hope. The number of new cases declining for the 5th week in a row, according to the CDC.
We continue to see trends head in the right direction.
The end of weather delays to vaccine distribution.
I anticipate that all backlog doses will be delivered by midweek.
And now efforts to help these smallest businesses recover.
The changes announced today will roll back restrictions that disproportionately impacted entrepreneurs of color from receiving relief.
But as the fight against the virus continues,
Let this not be a story of how far we fell, but of how far we climbed back up.
President Biden is asking every American to take a moment and reflect.
We have to resist becoming numb to the sorrow. Remember those we lost and those who left behind.
I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
Melissa, thank you. Flags will be at half-staff for the next 5 days at all federal buildings and military posts. Although COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are dropping, health officials still stress the pandemic poses a serious threat. Well, the 75-year-old man who was pushed to the ground during a protest in Buffalo last summer has filed a civil suit against the city, 2 officers, and the mayor. It comes after a grand jury dismissed felony assault charges against the officers earlier this month. The lawsuit alleges the man's constitutional rights were violated by officers using unlawful and unnecessary force. The suit also says the weekend-long 8 p.m. curfew was unconstitutional and not fairly enforced. Both the City of Buffalo and police departments say they could not comment on the pending litigation. Well, the landing of NASA's Perseverance rover on Mars captured the identity of the world last week. Those images breathtaking as the scope of the mission itself. And now NASA releasing more footage to the public. Take a look. A new video shows the final minutes of the rover's entry, descent, and landing. It starts with the supersonic deployment of the largest parachute ever sent to another planet. The landing video finishes with the final touchdown. The new footage also includes the first audio recordings of sounds from the red planet. You can hear a Martian breeze and mechanical sounds of the rover's operation. Listen. And actually, it looks like we don't have that sound for you, but let me tell you, it absolutely is incredible. NASA also released images showing the mission's first phenomenon, a new panorama of the rover's landing location. Those pictures were captured by 2 navigational cameras on the mast. Perseverance is the 5th rover that has landed on Mars. It's pretty incredible, Dakota. And actually, it looks like we didn't. Here's the panorama if you want to take a look. But it really is amazing to see that this is another planet. Wow.
And, you know, it's very interesting because for years we have been, but scientists have been trying to figure out if that Mars can sustain human life. And I remember a few years ago, NASA found that there was quotable water on Mars, but they're not sure how much. I don't think they know how much water is on Mars, but they said that I think they found water on Mars several years ago on one of the last Mars missions.
One thing that I take away from that in the soundbite, and we actually, our producers apologize for not loading it into our program, but we do have that on our website, WNYNewsNow.com. And to some, it maybe isn't that impressive, right? It sounds like there's kind of a wind blowing against a microphone, which is exactly what that is.
Right.
And to think about,
Mars
we have
has an atmosphere
very
too,
similar winds here on Earth, and they have that on Mars. It blows my mind to think about that.
Yes, there is weather on other planets.
Yeah.
Because almost every planet has an atmosphere. Every planet has some sort of weather. Speaking of planets, do you know that there's actually weather that occurs on the sun?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
There are tornadoes that occur on the sun, and get this, the tornadoes on the sun are about 32 million degrees.
Ooh, yeah, that would.
So
that
not
would
only
cook
are
it.
you blown away, you're crisped.
Right.
And if you think tornadoes in the U.S. are tall, the ones on the sun are about 120,000 miles tall.
Wow. See, that's incredible. It's incredible what the world and the Mother Nature and just all of this does. We're so tiny, if you really think about it. All of this stuff is incredible.
And I will still argue, Pluto is a planet. No, just kidding.
Speaking of planets, Mars, we heard their wind. Well, it sounds like we'll be hearing the wind coming over the next couple of days.
Oh,
here too.
yes, it is still windy out there. Let's take a look at the graphics and let's show you where your trash can is going to be today. And yeah, you know, if you have trash pickup, you know, maybe tomorrow morning, if you're going to set your trash can out, you might be finding it tipped over or at least next door with these southwest winds 15 to 30 miles per hour. So it is going to be breezy out there, but hey, who cares when we have warmer temperatures coming? Look at tomorrow, 44 degrees, and we're going to be back down into the lower 30s on Thursday. There's going to be a series of fronts moving through the region, and we should spike back to 36 on Friday, and by Saturday, we're back into the mid-40s. Now, the thing about this is, yes, we're warming up, but we don't want to get too warm here. We don't want to get 50s and 60s right now, because if we spike well into the 50s and 60s, we're going to have rapid snow and ice melt, and that's not good. We don't want that. So we want a slow melt with the snow and ice, and we're going to get at least a little bit of melting over the next few days. The DoubleTree camera was bouncing just a second ago with the wind, 34 degrees as a noon hour, a healthy west wind at 22. There's a wind gust. You can see there's the camera. There's a wind gust of 32 miles an hour, so that's going to be the big story through the day today, but you're going to be contending with a few snow showers as well. Radar shows you where the most amount of the widespread snow is. It's actually now into Cattaraugus County, moving out into Allegheny County, but there's still going to be a few scattered snow showers developing across the region. There's a warm front that's going to push through. This front is ultimately going to bring us the warmer temperatures tomorrow, and then right behind it is a cold front that's going to move through, and FutureScan shows you the series of the fronts very well. So there's the widespread snow through the afternoon, tapers to a few snow showers through the afternoon. You may mix in a few rain showers within the snow. So again, the overall accumulations will be light. We'll still see a few scattered snow showers through the night tomorrow, through the night tonight, and then as we get into tomorrow, look at green popping up on the map. Let's hear it for green, because that's not the snow. Yeah, that's the rain showers that's coming our way. But notice the cold air right behind it. There's the cold front passage. Notice the wind shifting from south to west again. That's going to bring in that cooler air once again for Thursday, and we're going to see a few snow showers on Wednesday night, but then Thursday and Friday should be mainly dry. So additional snowfall totals here, yeah, about a half an inch to maybe upwards of 2 inches. You could see upwards of 3 inches. This little darker blue strip right here, that's in the hills of the southern tier. You often get the most amount of snow, so you could see upwards of 3 inches there. So the zone forecast, the inland areas here today, this is where we're likely going to end the day, likely mid to upper 30s for most areas. You may catch a few rain showers mixed in with the snow. The next 7 days of your life are right here on the screen. 44 tomorrow, 31 on Thursday, and we're going to be back to chilly air. 36 on Friday. That's at least seasonal where we should be. 43 Saturday, a few rain and snow showers. Sunday, 41, more mild air, and we could be dealing with more ice and snow melt as we go into early next week. Justin?
Right, Dakota. Thank you. Certainly, I can take that 44 tomorrow. Thank you.
You're going to love it.
Minus the rain, but you know what? Hey,
would you rather have snow?
It's the warmth. Right, exactly. Exactly.
But you will get snow Wednesday night.
Right. So it comes back around to it anyway.
That's
Thank
right.
you. Well, students with Randolph Central School's Drama Club have released a behind-the-scenes look at their upcoming musical. In a video posted online, the club previewed their rendition of Sister Act. Now, due to gathering restrictions, the cast and crew will be premiering the show online coming up on Friday, March 5th at 7 o'clock and Saturday, March 6th at 11:45 in the morning. Miranda Waterman, who plays Mother Superior, says she's grateful for the opportunity to host the performance after last year's act was called off because of COVID-19.
We've worked really hard on this, and it really was a big bummer when it got canceled like 2 hours before show night last year. So it's really exciting that we get to actually put it back on and bring back the arts again, kind of, because like sports are coming back, and now it's fun that we can bring the arts back.
General admission is $10, with viewers getting an online access code to view the performance virtually. You can order a ticket by visiting tix4u.com. We have more information on our website right now. Certainly great to see that the arts are coming back. Let us know what you think about that and more in the comments down below. And I think, Dakota, we've talked about this before on the show. I was a drama geek when I was her age, and let me tell you, COVID-19 impacting so many, including the arts and performances. So it's great to see that they're able to get it back. Maybe not have people in theaters quite yet, but nevertheless, I remember when we were in quarantine a few months ago, we had folks at Faulkner School come on and talk about their virtual middle school performance. And it's certainly incredible to see that that sort of idea is carrying over, not just here, but in other places around the country as well, so people can stay connected with performances like that.
Yeah, and you know, I took drama when I was in high school. Now, I didn't go full college level drama.
Yeah.
I only took Drama 1, which at JHS, Drama 1 is just an intro to drama. It's basically improv. It teaches you about, you know, theater, and it's mostly improv. Drama 2, which is the second year course, really focuses on, you know, scripts and learning how to, you know, do scripts and do like Hamlet and stuff like that.
Right, more in-depth script writing.
And, you know, I wanted to take,
and
and, you know, I wanted to take Drama 2, but unfortunately another class got in the way. So, but anyway, you know, I will say that, you know, drama is one of the best classes, and, you know, I think anybody in high school should take at least one theater course because it is so fun. And, you know, I said that, you know, Drama 1, I think, was one of my favorite classes I ever took in high school. And then plus when you have somebody like Mr. Tian, you know, who teaches that class, nobody can teach it like you know, T and Ken at JHS.
Right.
I mean, he teaches that class with such emotion, with such passion, and, you know, I think that's also, you know, kind of like what you look for in a teacher, somebody who has, you know, a huge passion for it.
And the teachers have been incredible throughout COVID-19. They really have. And you have things like that, whether it be a public speaking course or something to try to get the kids center stage. It really brings out your personality in a time of your life when that is the defining moment to connect with others and be able to voice your opinions and just because it isn't easy to get up in front of people. And in this case, you know, the performance taking virtually, but nevertheless, you're still, you know, you have a set of lines, and it's, I think, just as much discipline as maybe a sport would be, because you have to memorize things and you have to be able to perform it the same way every time.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's hard because, you know, you have to read it and you have to memorize it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, you know, for me, that was one of the last projects we did in Drama 1 was we had to do a script.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's a lot harder than you think it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not as easy as, you know, I mean, you know, it's not as easy as just, you know, listening to a song and memorizing the lyrics. They're giving me the wrap-up
Good to see Cindy. Good to see Stephanie, Tom, and Sandy as well. Hopefully you're all having a great day out there. We appreciate you tuning in. Real quick, let's get a final check of the forecast. And tonight, I know we are probably going to see a little bit of snow overnight, but then that rain's on the way.
Yes, 28 to 33 tonight, scattered snow showers, little accumulation tonight, then it turns much warmer tomorrow, but rain showers in the afternoon, then we're back to the cold for Thursday.
All right, Dakota, thank you. That's going to do it for us today. News 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We remind you when you're on the go, it's easy to stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. Simply search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We're back tomorrow. Have a great day.